Hello, welcome from Mr. Relay at the art department in LIS. I'm sorry, guys, that we can't have class right now. It's a little unfortunate, I get it, but I want you guys to be safe. I want all of us to be safe right now, so we're just going to have to make do with what we've got right now. So, what I'm going to do is in this video, I'm going to explain to you guys exactly what I'm expecting from you in the next couple weeks. I don't have a time frame right now as to when class will start again. I'm hoping that it's within the next 3 to 5 weeks, but I don't know. There's no clarity as far as that goes right now. So what I'm going to do is for you guys that have my class, and that's middle school all the way up to high school, all of you guys, I'm going to explain to you guys what I want you guys to work on and what I expect from you guys when you guys get back. Understand this. I understand that maybe some of you guys were working on projects, that some of you guys at the middle school were almost done with the quarter, and you had stuff that you were still finishing up, and maybe you're worried about your grade. Don't be. I will make sure that things are taken care of as far as that stuff goes. We are in a situation right now where I am going to be lenient as far as that stuff goes. If you were working during the quarter, middle schoolers, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to be fine. Trust me, okay? So don't stress about that stuff. That's for my middle schoolers. Now, my high schoolers, we're in a different situation. Some of you guys were starting on the new project, which was continuous line for you Art 1 students. Art 2 we're working on, depending upon where they were at and if they were working consistently. They were on anything from emphasis to contrast, and then maybe they were finishing up contrast and they were starting to work on the final, which is a narrative drawing or painting. Now, what we have to understand is that you guys are going to be limited as far as materials go. I get it. For those of you that need paper of some sort, we can maybe arrange something at the middle school that if you guys need to come in and get some materials, you probably can. If I'm not here, they can probably let you in. Middle schoolers, it's pretty evident where my materials are. They're right by the whiteboard, which is basically to my left right now as I'm talking to you. They're on the table. There's paper right there. If you need paper, you can come and get paper. I'm fine with that. If I'm not here, see if someone will let you in the room and you can get paper, okay? High schoolers, we're kind of in the same situation. If you need to grab a project, if you need to grab anything that you were working on, I would suggest going and seeing if they will let you in to the classroom, and then you can basically grab your projects that you were working on, okay? Ceramics, my ceramic students, you guys, we're kind of in a unique situation. I might go into that a little later in the video. But right now with ceramics, we're in a unique situation. We might have to think a little bit more outside the box, or we might have to do something that maybe you guys won't like very much. We'll just have to see where we're at as far as that stuff goes. Because like I said, guys, I don't know how long this is going to go. This could be 2 weeks. This could be 8 weeks. I don't know. So right now, we're just going to have to play it by ear. You guys can always contact me. Your parents have my email. My email's on the website. You guys need to email me. I will check my email as much as I possibly can and make sure that I stay in contact with you guys. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I break down each class right now. I'm going to start with the middle schoolers. I'll work my way up to the high schoolers, and then we'll just kind of play it by ear. I'll let you guys know what I expect from you. Hopefully we're back in the next 3 to 5 weeks at the most. These projects should take up that amount of time, okay? If you are finishing early, great, good for you. Work on your other core subjects. That's what I would suggest, okay? So don't panic if you're finishing too early. Obviously, I want you guys to take your time on the projects. I'm not saying rush through them, but, you know, let's be honest, art is essentially like the redheaded stepchild when it comes to subjects in school. So, you know, I understand your core subjects are going to have pretty large requirements from you. I get it. That's why I'm going to try and keep your assignments in art to, you know, a 2 or 3 week project that you'll just work on consistently over a space of time And if we come back to school while you're working on it, great. If you finish it and we're not back at school yet, okay, that's fine. Either way, I'm just trying to give you something to work on while we have this extended break, okay? All right, so let's talk to the middle schoolers first, okay? Middle schoolers, you guys just finished the quarter with me, or at least we're close to finishing the quarter. I don't know how, I'm assuming when we come back that I'm going to have new middle schoolers. So all of you that were scheduled to be in my class on the new quarter, what I want you guys to work on, this is talking to you guys, the new ones that were going to be in my new quarter. You guys that are taking my class again, it's the same rules. Same rules apply. I want you working consistently. I want 8 projects done by the end of the quarter. So you guys are free to choose on exactly what you want to use or what you want to do as far as subject matter. Now, materials-wise, you guys are going to be limited. I understand that. At the middle school, I have some materials you can use, but I don't want to get into that whole situation where I'm letting you guys take materials out of the room. That's a logistical nightmare, and we're not going to do that right now. So what I'm going to say is, for you middle schoolers that are taking my class again, you guys are free to work on whatever projects you want to work on. I want 8 by the end of the quarter. So you guys choose the subject matter. You guys choose what medium or media that you want to use. So you can use colored pencils. If you have watercolors at home, great. Maybe try a project using watercolors. If you've got access to acrylic paints or anything like that, great. Use them is what I would suggest. Just make sure that you're working on projects. And I would say, you should have hopefully 2 to 3 done by the time we get back, hopefully. But like I said, I'm not sure as far as the time frame. So those are for the students that are taking my class again at the middle school. You guys are taking me again. You new kids that haven't taken me yet. So that's basically my 6th graders, some 7th and 8th graders, probably not a ton. Okay, so you new students that are coming into my class at the middle school, the project we're going to be working on for the first 2 to 3 weeks was going to be a stippling project or pointillism. Okay, if you guys are, I'm sure you guys have no idea what that is. Okay, essentially what it is we're going to be creating our own initials or maybe someone else's initials for the first project, Okay, we're going to be creating in block letters or graffiti writing. You decide the font that you want to create, okay? You're going to do your initials first, and you decide how many, you want to do your first name, your last name, your first and last, if you can fit it, or all of your initials, first, middle name, and last name initials. If you want to do all of those, that's fine. You decide, that is up to you. But what's going to happen is, I want you to sketch out 5 sketches, come up with a bunch of different sketches. With each 5 sketch, try all your full name, just your first name, your last name, or just all 3 of the letters in your initial. I want you to do that, come up with 5 sketches, decide which one you want to do, and then when we get to the final part, so you're going to pick out a paper that you're going to do the final project part of it, okay? You're going to do pointillism or stippling as shading on it. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of shading, but essentially shading is, obviously when we shade things, we make it so it looks 3D, right? That's the idea of shading, okay? So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using dots, what pointillism or stippling is, and you can look it up online. If you guys have access to technology, look it up online, you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? Stippling or pointillism is basically making shading by using dots. Some dots, when there's the light, when there's more heavy light, basically what's going to happen is your dots will be farther apart and there will be less of them, okay? So that's the lighted areas. They're going to be farther apart and less dots, okay, to make the light look like there's more light hitting that part of your initials, okay? And remember, we're doing block letters or graffiti writing or whatever font you want, but obviously, we can't make line initials, right? We have to make them bubble or block or graffiti in order to color them in. So just keep that in mind, guys, okay? So that's what we'll be doing, okay? We're going to make sure that in the lighted areas, the stippling part, we're going to do less dots, farther apart. Now, obviously, guys, if I had the proper technology right now, I'd have a camera up here. You guys would be seeing me experiment or actually showing you an example. I don't have the technology right now. Unfortunately, I didn't get my camera yet that I was supposed to be doing so I could do these videos properly, or else I'd be showing you how to do it. Okay, my suggestion is, if you're unsure of what I'm talking about, YouTube is your friend. Go on YouTube, look up pointillism or stippling shading. You'll see exactly what I mean, okay? All right, so that's my suggestion. All right, so in the darker parts, when we have heavy shadow in those areas, we're going to use a lot of dots and a lot closer together, okay? We want, essentially what the whole objective of this project is that we want to make our bubble letters look 3D, and we're going to use our shading, a unique style of shading, which is pointillism, in order to achieve this. Do you see this poster behind me? The letters look 3D. That's not pointillism, okay? Don't misinterpret me. That is not pointillism. But the idea is to make them look 3D, like what you see in the background, okay? All right, so that is for my middle schoolers that haven't had me yet, that are going to be starting with me new or fresh. That is the, oh geez, sorry guys, my light just went off in my classroom. That is for you new students that haven't taken me yet at the middle school. That is the project you'll be working on for the first 3 weeks, okay? That is what I want you guys working on. Pointillism, stippling, initials project. You're doing your initials for the first one. Now, after you finish your first one and you've completed it, it looks great, right? And I'm sure all of them will, right? You're going to basically, what I want you to do, you're going to do a second one. That should take you another week and a half or so. I want you to do a teacher. You pick the teacher, Mr. V, or sorry, Mrs. V, Mr. R, Mr. S, Mr. H, whoever you want at the school that you want to basically give them an art piece, I want you to do it for them, okay? So that is the second step of that project that you will do. You'll do their first project will be you, or your initials, or your first name, or your last name. The second one will be for a teacher, okay? A teacher's name of some sort. You decide the style, the font, how you want to word it. It could be, like I said, it could be Mr. Hill, complete. It could be Mr. H. However you want to work it, that is up to you, and make it look, that is completely up to you. But I want you to use stippling / pointillism in order to achieve the look that we're looking for this project. Now, all of these assignments are not to torture you, you new people. My focus is on the art elements. And the art elements, the first one we're going to be working on, there's a couple. And so this is basically a focus on value and how we achieve value. And there's different ways to achieve value. So just keep that in mind. That is one of the elements I want you guys to be aware of, is value. Art element is value, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, I think that covers the middle schoolers. You guys middle schoolers should have an idea what you're working on. Like I said, if you are confused and you don't know what pointillism or stippling is, or how to do it, or what it looks like, I'm sorry you're not here with me so I can show you, but you guys have technology at your hands. Look it up on YouTube. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, that's what I would suggest. You guys got nothing else really going on right now. Now's the perfect time, okay? So practice, look up a video, try it. If it stinks, don't worry about it, okay? I'm not concerned about that. This is a process. It always is a process, okay? You are not going to be good right off the bat, okay? You just aren't. So don't worry about that stuff. Try it. Do the best you can. If it's not good, try it again. There's no harm in it. You've got plenty of time. That would be my suggestion. Okay, middle schoolers covered. All right. Okay, my high school kids. Here's the deal. Art 1, you guys working on Art 1. When we left each other, you were working on a continuous line project. A lot of you were, okay? You were working on your shoe in a continuous line. Some of you were painting with watercolor. Now, like I said, if you want to grab your picture, if you have access to watercolors at home and you want to grab your project and finish it, the one that you were working on in class, like I said, come down to the school, see if they can let you in, and see if you can grab your project and then work on it at home. That would be my suggestion. Those of you that weren't even on the final project or the final part of that yet, okay, and you were still sketching, What I would suggest is pick out a photo. You'll always hear me say photo. Guys, when you look up a reference of some sort, I do not want you looking up a drawing of something online, okay? That is essentially you copying someone else's work, okay? That's not what we want to do. I want you to use a photo as your reference. So make sure it's a photo, okay? Find a pair of shoes. That's two, okay? Not one shoe. All right, I want you to find a pair of shoes, whatever style you want, and I want you to try it in continuous line like you were doing on the practice worksheets, okay? Once you feel comfortable with it, I want you to find some sort of paper you can. Like I said, I have paper in my classroom. You guys that have been in my classroom know exactly where the big, large final paper that I call it is. It's up on near my desk, up on that table. If you want to grab it, go in and see if someone will let you in. Grab the paper, use that as your final, that's fine. If you don't do that, what I would suggest is if you have access to paper at home and you don't want to grab the paper that's at the school, you don't have to. But if you have access to larger paper at home, okay, then use that. That's fine. Whatever you want to do, I will leave that up to you, okay? We're in a unique situation, so I'm just going to have to play it by ear and see how we do. I understand I'm going to get small projects because you guys were working on paper that you guys had at home. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about that, okay? So don't get stressed about that. All right, so you Art 1 kids, I want you to continue working on that continuous line for the next week. You guys that haven't started on the final on the continuous line project, I want you guys to start working on that and work on it for the next 2 weeks. If you're working now, when we say this, I want you guys to work on it. It means I don't want you to rush through it. I want you to work with quality on it, okay? Make sure it is quality and that you're taking your time on it. So it should take you about 2 weeks. Now, if you finish that project, or if you were near finishing that project and you don't know what to do next, you guys, the next unit that we're working on is value. Essentially, what we're going to be working on is shading still lifes. So what I want you guys to work on, if you are done with the continuous line project, is to work on a still life project. Now, how it works in class usually is I have you guys work on five before you work on the final one. Now, the final one is usually your midterm. So keep that in mind, guys, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to not do 5. We're going to do 4. I want you guys to work on four value projects. So what you're going to do is you're going to look up art, still life, photo. You're going to look it up online. Art, still life, photo. That or black and white, still life, photo. I want you to find still lifes with at least, I would say, initially, try two objects in the still life. After you're comfortable with the two, the next one that you work on, I want you to pick out a still life that has 3 objects. Then after that, I want you to pick out a still life that has 4 and so on. Now, the final one that you end up doing is up to you. I would prefer if you guys had, I would say, anywhere between 3 and 5 objects in the still life, okay? Just to challenge yourself a little bit. Don't show back up to school and show me your final for this unit and have it be one little apple, okay? That's not exactly what I'm looking for. I want you guys to push yourself a little bit, draw something that has multiple objects in the still life, and make sure it's a photo, okay? Don't do a drawing, okay? Don't do a drawing of a drawing. That's not what I want. I want you to learn to look at things in real life and draw them. That's the whole point, okay? So don't draw another drawing, all right? That's not what I'm looking for. All right, so I want you to do 4 of those, 4 practice ones. The 5th one will be your midterm, okay? That is one that you need to spend your time on. Now, as far as the size of the paper, I usually have you guys do it on the final paper, which is like an 18 by 24 usually. If you have 18 by 24 paper at home, great. If you don't, you can come and grab some. It's on my desk, right by it in the high school. See if someone will let you in, see if you can grab it, okay? But like I said, you don't have to do that. If you want to, you can. If you don't want to, find whatever paper you can. Try and make it as big as you can, okay? That would be my suggestion. I know you guys don't have access to a lot of materials, so I'm not worried about it, okay? All right. So that is the next unit after you finish your continuous line. That usually in class takes you about 4 weeks, okay? That should take us hopefully to the end of this whole brief break that we have going on here because of the coronavirus. So hopefully that fills your time. Like I said, I understand it's art, all right? I understand that in the grand scheme of things, art doesn't matter. So whatever. Do the best you can, okay? I just suggest that you guys basically do the best you can, put out as much quality work as you can, and you don't rush through them. That would be my only suggestion. Okay, so Art 1, that's what you're doing. Enough said. Okay, Art 2. Some of you guys were in Art 2, you were finishing up contrast, like I said, with Art 1 students. If you want to finish that project, which I would assume you would probably want to finish it, see if you can get into the classroom, which I'm sure you probably can. Get in there, grab your project, finish it up, okay, and you'll turn it in when I see you again. Now, after you guys finish contrast, if you're not on contrast, and if you were still on emphasis, which I don't think a lot of you guys were, if I recall correctly, I think a lot of you guys were still on contrast. If you were behind in Art 2 and you weren't on contrast yet, what you guys need to do is you need to work on a high contrast and a low contrast drawing of some sort. The low contrast drawing consists of you basically breaking up a piece of paper into 6 bars, and in each bar you're going to do graphite color, graphite color, graphite color, okay? That'll be your low contrast. Now, you guys doing high contrast, it's a little different. You guys might not have the materials that I can give you from my classroom, and we usually do it on a black map board for the high contrast. So what I'm gonna do is, right now, if you guys are not on contrast and you're just starting on contrast, worry about doing the low contrast. And that's my light again, hold on. All right, sorry. My light goes off if I'm not moving around. So low contrast, just worry about that. Just worry about the low contrast. If you haven't got to the contrast unit yet and you're starting on the contrast unit, worry about low contrast. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, I get it. Look it up, look up some references, use the internet, you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? Essentially, what I want you guys to do is see that there's a contrast, obviously, between color and graphite. And so when you do it, I want colored pencil or whatever you have access to, so it needs to be color, graphite, color, graphite, color, graphite, okay? Basically, your paper is split up into bars, okay? And that's essentially the low contrast project I will have you guys work on. It usually takes you about 2 weeks. So that should fill the time, okay, that you need to. If you finish that, great, more power to you. When you get back, hopefully we'll have enough time that we can start on the final, which is the narrative final, but we'll just have to play that by ear, because right now I'm not sure. Okay, you guys that were past contrast and done with it, you guys need to work on your final, which is basically, it's a painting or drawing, and I know you guys will probably not have access to paint. I get it. So here's what I want you to do. Do a drawing, okay? Everyone has access to a pencil, so I'm not worried about it, okay? You guys should have access to a pencil. So what I'm requiring is that I want you guys to do a narrative drawing, and basically what a narrative drawing is, narrative is just another word for story. It's a drawing that tells a story. If you guys want a good reference as to an artist that was great at narrative art, look up Norman Rockwell, okay? He is a master at it. He told stories very subtly. And what I want you guys to do is, you guys as artists, when you do this project, I want you guys to tell us a story, but be subtle about it. I don't want you guys to do the comic book road where you guys put up little bubbles above our head and tell us everything that the character's thinking. That's not the assignment. What I want you guys to do is, what I want you guys to do is make it subtle, okay? Tell us a story, but make it, if you want to make it vague, that's fine. You don't have to make it vague. If you want to lay it out completely and say, this is the story I'm telling, and here's how I'm going to show you, great, then do that. But if you want to make it subtle, you can make it subtle too. You guys are the artist. I'm going to leave that up to you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. a drawing that tells a story. That is a narrative drawing or painting. Okay, so like I said, use your technology if you want to look up ideas, get ideas, whatever the case might be. Use your technology. That would be my suggestion. Okay, that is going to be your final. That'll be your final project in Art 2. So that is one definitely that you want to take your time on and not rush through. Okay, so use your time wisely. Work on it when you can. Take your time. If it's not done by the time I see you again, don't worry about it. Okay, we hopefully will still have time to work on it when we get back. So, but that is what I want you to start on, and that assignment usually takes a good amount of time. I would say 5 to 6 weeks at least. Sometimes more. So it just depends. Okay, take your time on it. Use your imagination, use your creativity. That's what I want you guys to do with that assignment, okay? All right, that's Art 2. Art 3, you guys, there's not a whole lot of you. Here's what I want you to do. Keep working on what you were working on. Remember, you were doing assignments that had to do with the art elements, okay? That clearly show me the art elements. Okay, that is the whole idea of whatever projects you're working on. You need to prove to me that you are using the art elements, all 7 of them. Now, if you've gotten to the point where you've done all 7, then you need to do one final project, and this will be your final for Art 3, that shows me all the elements of art inside one picture or one composition. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you've done them all, then you need to show me one that shows me all of them, okay? So that will be your assignment. You guys are basically pretty easy, okay? Keep working on what you were working on. Make sure it's focusing each project on the art elements individually. And then if you've done all the art elements and you've done a project for each art element, then I want you to show me one that has all art elements inside of them, okay? And I want you to, on the back, on your final, I want you to write me a little paragraph on the back that tells me all the art elements in the picture and where you use them. That'll be your final, okay? Art 3. All right, studio art. Well, you guys are in a unique situation. You're essentially doing what you were doing in class. Keep working on what you were working on, okay? You had projects that we were thinking about for state art. Keep working on those. I want you guys to finish those and keep working on those. Now, state art, I don't know what's going on with state art. It's up in the air right now. It could happen. It could not happen. Right now, it's not looking very good. So I don't know. We'll just have to see what's going on with state art and if we make it or not. If we don't make it, it's not the end of the world, hopefully. So we'll just have to save our projects that we were working on for state art, and we'll have to show them next year for you underclassmen. For you seniors, I apologize. You know, circumstances. There's nothing we can do about it. So, you know, if you don't get to show your work at state art this year, that stinks. I'm sorry for you guys, but we got to work with what we got right now. So we'll just have to wait and see. Studio art kids, keep doing what you're doing. Keep working hard. Take your time on your projects and keep working on those. Keep working on those state projects, okay? That's what I want you guys to work on. Because like I said, even though if we don't go this year, we'll still go eventually next year. So I want you guys to at least have state art projects ready to go. So work on state art projects for you studio kids, okay? Ceramics. And I think this is one of the last ones. I think I've covered everyone. And yeah, this is a pretty long video. I apologize. Okay, ceramics. You guys, obviously, you can't work with clay at home. You don't have access to the clay room. You guys are in a unique situation. So what I would do is you guys need to look up a style of pottery that you guys want to work on when you get back. Now, there's plenty of information out there in the internet that you can look up and find inspiration for. So what I want you to do is look up a style of ceramics from any country and figure out your next project you're going to be working on. Now, that's only for my advanced ceramics kids. So, you know, ceramics 1, you guys were working on something. You can't really work on it right now. Ceramics 2, you guys don't have access to the wheel. So you guys are kind of in in a tough situation too. Okay, so we're just gonna have to make do with what we got. So look up you studio kids, studio ceramics. I want you to look up some art styles, different ceramics art styles that you find interesting and are inspired by. And I want you guys to basically come up with an idea that you're going to work on when you get back. Okay, that will be your essentially probably your final project, depending on when we get back. I'm not sure. Okay, so ceramics keep you basically you probably don't have much to work on. I just want you guys to really kind of look up some stuff when in. Here's what I'll say. In regards to ceramics, you guys look up ceramics just in your free time when you're buzzing about. Maybe you got some free time in between math and English and whatever it is you're working on. Look up some ceramic styles. Seek some inspiration for anything that you want to work on when you get back. That would be my suggestion for you ceramics kids. Okay, because you guys are, like I said, in a unique situation. You can't really do it at home like the rest of the kids. So do the best you can. All right. I think that's it. I'm trying to remember if I needed to address anything else. Oh, okay. So my high school kids, in regards to sketchbooks, nothing changes, guys. You had one due when we had school canceled on that Monday. So save that sketchbook. I'm still going to put that grade in the grade book. So save that. Make sure you don't lose it. Make sure you have access to it. I believe it was color that we were working on as far as you Art 1 kids for the sketchbook, okay? Now, you Art 2, you Art 3, and you Studio kids, you still have the paper with your prompts on there of what you need to draw in your sketchbook. Work on those still, okay? So in addition to anything that I talked about in this video, I want you guys to also work on your sketchbooks. That doesn't change. I will still have sketchbooks that will be due in the coming weeks after we get back. So make sure you work on. Hey, think of it this way. Now you got all sorts of free time. Use it when you're bored to just draw in your sketchbook. There should be no excuse why you guys shouldn't do your sketchbook basically at this point. I know you're going to have other assignments in other classes. I get it. But hey, now you got plenty of time to work on sketchbooks. So I still want you to work on them because when you work in your sketchbooks, you're only getting better, right? Practice makes perfect, that whole thing. Okay, so continue working in your sketchbooks. Art 1, you guys can just basically work on whatever you want as far as sketchbooks go. I'm not going to make you guys work on art elements anymore at this point. You guys can just basically draw what you want in there like the rest of the kids do, okay? So that's fine. You can draw whatever you want in there. Just make sure you're drawing in your sketchbooks and you have something to turn in when the time comes, okay? The rest of you guys, you have that paper with the art prompts. Use them. Draw whatever in those art prompts. Use those to your advantage, okay? All right. That's it. That's all I got. I know you guys are sick of looking at my ugly mug. Cool. Great. I get it. I'm going to get out of your hair. I want to say thanks to my middle schoolers for making my LIS Eagles poster here. They did an awesome job. I wanted to include it in the video, so that's why it's sitting over my shoulder here. You guys did awesome. So good luck out there. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I love you guys, okay? Be safe, please. Don't get sick. Don't get hurt. Be smart about stuff, and hopefully I'll see you soon. So I'll talk to you when I talk to you. All right, guys. Take care.